In July of 1944, in a quiet hotel in New Hampshire, the world's elite made a deal that would define the next 80 years of human history. They called it Bretton Woods. It was the moment the US dollar became the sun around which every other currency orbited. It was a promise that America would remain the world's bank, the world's police, and the world's most trusted partner. But last week, in a series of closed-door meetings that the mainstream media is calling routine diplomatic talks, that 80-year-old sun finally burned out. The divorce has begun, and if you think your bank account is a safe haven, you are living in a dream world. What I am about to reveal to you isn't a market correction or a simple recession. We are witnessing the 1944 moment in reverse. For the first time since World War II, the global majority has decided they no longer need the United States to facilitate trade. While you were distracted by political theater and celebrity gossip, a $10 trillion tectonic shift just occurred. China, Russia, and the expanded BRICS nations have officially activated a system that bypasses the US Treasury entirely. They didn't just dump the dollar, they divorced it. To understand why your life is about to get significantly more expensive, you have to understand the exorbitant privilege. Since 1944, America has had a superpower no other nation possessed: the ability to print value out of thin air. If France wanted oil, they had to produce goods and sell them for dollars, but America just printed the paper. This allowed us to fund endless wars and a lifestyle of consumption that was mathematically impossible. But the world just realized the vault is empty and the trust is gone. When the US froze Russia's assets in 2022, every country from Brazil to Indonesia asked the same question: are we next? The 1944 moment was built on trust, but the 2024 divorce is built on survival. This isn't just one country leaving, it's a coordinated exodus. China is currently liquidating their US Treasury holdings at a pace that suggests a controlled demolition. They are taking their paper dollars and turning them into hard assets. Official reports say China holds 2,200 tons of gold, but independent analysts estimate the real number is closer to 30,000 tons more than the official holdings of the United States and Europe combined. Why? Because gold is the ultimate reset button. But here is the part that should truly terrify you. It's not just our rivals who are divorcing us, it's our oldest allies. For decades, Japan has been the single largest holder of US debt, the loyal partner that kept the American dream on life support. But to save their own currency, the yen, they are now being forced to sell off their US Treasuries at an alarming rate. When China sells, it's a trade war, but when Japan sells, it's a systemic collapse. Imagine a crowded theater where the two biggest guys sitting near the exit suddenly stand up and start running for the door. The rest of the crowd is going to stampede. We are seeing a global bank run on the United States. This brings us to the most dangerous pillar of the dollar's power, the petrodollar. Since 1974, the world had to use dollars to buy oil. This forced every nation to hoard greenbacks, but that pillar has crumbled. Saudi Arabia, once our closest energy ally, is now joining BRICS and accepting multiple currencies for their oil. When the world no longer needs dollars for energy, the demand for our currency drops to zero, and the trillions held overseas start flooding back home. This is what economists call reverse currency flow. For 80 years, the world was a giant sponge soaking up trillions of dollars. But, as that sponge is squeezed, those trillions are rushing back into the American economy. It's a tidal wave of cash chasing a shrinking supply of goods, and this is the death of the middle class. We are seeing the rise of a two-tier global economy where the West holds the debt while the East holds the commodities, the oil, and the manufacturing. When the dollar loses its status, interest rates in America will skyrocket. Your mortgage could go from 7% to 20% overnight. Car loans will become impossible. The housing market will seize up because nobody can afford the payments. This isn't just a prediction, it's the historical cycle of empires. From the Roman denarius to the British pound, every reserve currency has eventually overprinted itself into oblivion. The difference is that today, the speed of digital finance makes this collapse move at the speed of light.